Certainly been a minute. And today is not going to be anything special. We are just going to chill. Here in Alpha 1.1.2, we have a snow world this time. Isn't that something? I kind of want to take today to just, I don't know, put something out there. And just kind of relax and speak my mind for a minute. Since it's been a little while since I've popped in here. Mainly just because I've been busy with some things. You know, real life, what are you going to do? And I just haven't had the amount of time necessary to commit to this YouTube thing and create the things that I want to. You know, have the adequate amount of time. Because the stuff that I've put out on this has been kind of higher production value than stuff that I have been used to in the past. And it's not that I'm completely out of ideas, it's just that they take so long sometimes, and it takes kind of like my full mental commitment to it. And I just don't have the... I just don't have it right now to commit to all of it. It's mainly because of, you know, I'm not in school or anything. I'm beyond that point in terms of my, you know, my age. And, but, you know, work full time, and I got some other things going on the side that are a little bit more important to me at the moment instead of this. And at least with something like this, you know, just kind of like a classic sit down and chat kind of video, I can at least put something out there. And I've seen a kind of resurgence lately in videos like this, where it's more of like a podcast kind of thing, and you have something going on in the background, sure. In fact, I don't want the sun to go down yet, but there is... I forget the guy's name, but I'm going to look him up really quick. Oh man, I'm going to totally destroy this guy's name. Mahjong Blonsky. Mahjong Blonsky. That is a mouthful. He's kind of the guy who turned me on to trying a snow world out, because I've, you know, messed around in older versions of Minecraft in my time, and just I have a fascination with it. You know, it's just a completely different game, more or less. And I'm very familiar with this version. This is before, you know, the Nether. This is well before the end, and, you know, any sort of hunger system. You can't sprint, all of that kind of stuff. And you would occasionally get these maps that would be a complete snow world, you know, because there's only one biome. You know, that's how far back we're going. This is, you know, like 2010, before true biome world generation was even implemented. And I used to always avoid the snow worlds, just because I thought it was obnoxious and annoying, because it's just constantly snowing all the time. You know, you always have these particle effects if you're outside. And it's hard sometimes to design cool looking structures, you know, with all the snow piling up on the ground all the time. And it's even harder sometimes to see mobs whenever it gets dark, you know, peering through all of these snow flakes falling from the sky. But I have had a complete overhaul on that idea, because I've never experimented with snow before. Like, look at that texture. It's phenomenal. I love it. And it's just adding a new material to the game that I'm able to get creative with, and, you know, add it to my palette of blocks. And I think that is a humongous bonus. It's the one thing you can't get if you load up a natural world. You can't even get ice, in fact. So, not that you can pick this up and relocate it or anything, but you can, you know, move water and, you know, use ice to your advantage in some cases. You just have to get a little bit creative. But this is, you know, the sun's about to go down, so I'm gonna, I guess, hit the road, even though I don't want to take the track whenever it's nighttime, because there's some cool things to... Well, why not? I'll probably do it anyways. This is the spawn point. You know, there's no beds here. This block right here is where you would spawn if you die. My first initial priority was to protect the spawn point, just in case. You know, I have some basic materials in here, enough wood and stone in order to create some basic tools. You know, all of the essentials. What is going on back here? Silly thing. That's kind of priority number one. And this makes it also so that I don't have to mark it with anything, you know, fancy. The classic tower. This is going to be a train station. It's kind of, sort of coming along. It's got a lot of work to be done, but at least the front wall's done. It's been kind of hard to focus on this because I have explored certain areas. I mean, as you can see, this was my original settlement. I went off in this direction here and found some pretty neat caves. I have a little hole in the wall that I can go check out, as well as some pillars that mark some important spots. And then I started to explore out in different directions, and I went this way. As you can see, the road goes on for quite a ways, and it goes on much, much further than that. And it's where I found my permanent settlement ground, the place where I really wanted to call home because it was just beautiful when I first stumbled across it. And we'll get to that, but for the time being, I'm comfortable forging the night and just kind of going for it, especially because mobs typically don't spawn on ice. They do wander out here occasionally, but so long as I'm on the ice, I feel pretty safe. I can already see a skeleton there. I got a pillar over there. That must be a cave or something. I like to mark things before there's some sort of, you know, obvious structure showing me what it is, which we will see back at the permanent settlement. But for now, I want to check this out really quick because I haven't been over here for a little bit. I've only had this world for maybe a month, give or take, and it's just been a nice outlet to relax and try to get creative with some things and, you know, really dig into this game and in this alpha version, because I mean, you know, I've played this for what, 12, 13 years at this point. I mean, I've kind of seen and done it all, but these older versions are still kind of a bit of a mystery to me, and you sort of have to get creative and kind of create your own story because, like I said, I mean, this is before any bosses or anything. You're just dumped in here and you have to, you know, create it all yourself. So yeah, I just got some basic stuff in here. This was just mainly to, but yeah, I like to keep something. Matter of fact, I'll take the redstone. I like to keep some things in here, some little bit of food, some basic tools and wood and whatnot, just in case I'm ever in a crunch and I have to come back here, or, you know, I'm just wandering around the area and I'm, you know, in a bit of a pinch. It's kind of like a little outpost kind of thing. Let me see. This is a cave. I know that. I believe this goes down to a skeleton spawner. That's one thing, is I have found a ton of dungeons in this map. Like, to the point where it is utterly ridiculous. I think this is another little outpost. This is where I began my mining excursion. You can see bedrock way at the bottom there. But dungeons are the only actual structure that spawns in these maps, and I have found quite a few. And we will begin to realize that once we see all of the mossy cobblestone that I've managed to acquire. It's pretty ridiculous. This is going to be, it was going to be, it still might happen, but this was going to be like a quarry kind of thing. This is all TNT. Yeah, it doesn't go that deep. Yeah, this was back when I originally thought that I was going to settle down here. But as I was venturing around, mainly looking for sugarcane, just because that is so rare in maps like this, because the coastline is mostly all ice. Yeah, it's very rare that you come across a pocket of water along the coast. You kind of have to get lucky and have a tree hang over the edge, and just pray that that is where sugarcane just decided to spawn in. But I did manage to find some, but it required me to go very, very far in that direction. And along the way, that's when I found the settlement area, which that's pretty much all there is to see on this side. There's not really much at all. And I don't really plan to come back here at any point. I mean, yeah, the skeleton spawner is really nice, but we will see shortly why I probably won't be coming back here anymore. And it's why I've neglected this spawn train station so much. I've gone in that direction a little bit. Haven't explored out that way really at all, but when I really stop and think about it, there's not really too much of a reason to, and I'll show you why. So let's I'll leave all this here, I guess. Redstone. I don't really need redstone here. Yeah, all of this can stay. I'll need this eventually anyways. So one of the cool things about alpha is, again, you have to get kind of creative with some things. I do not know or understand why this works, but there's no powered rails. But if you know anything about this, oops, I got to get a running start. You know about the minecart booster, and that's what this is. So long as I'm in that minecart, whenever I come down this track, I will attach to this one for just a second or two, and then it essentially will slingshot me down the track. And as far as I can tell, I will have infinite momentum. I will never slow down. It's so broken, but it's just one of those cool things. I don't know who would have figured that system out, but I mean, it's a tried and true method of using minecarts. I mean, this has been known for 15 years at this point, that it just works. Check it out. Like, I'm gonna fly up this hill, no problem at all. Not slowing down. It's so cool. It just makes no sense, but I love it. Little broken mechanics like that. Bugs, basically, that you can use to your advantage, but it's just kind of part of the universe, you know? It's part of the physics. And just like, check out this landscape. But you can also see, too, how, yeah, it's just frozen ocean everywhere. But, like, look at all this. This is just beautiful scenery to look at. Got a cave right there for potential exploring. And you will notice, whenever we get pretty close, you'll start to see all of the structures. It's not too terribly far. It's not unrealistic to walk to every single time. But, you know, if you die and spawn back there, which has happened a few times to me, walking back here is really, really inconvenient. And we can see one of the caves that I came up out of right there. Incredible cave. I found some ridiculous cave systems around here. Little sand pillar to show me where I'm at. And just about there, you're going to start to see some structures coming into view. Yep, there's one now. There's my bell tower. Not quite finished yet, but it's pretty far along. Got a couple. I mainly just need to do a flag up at the top. I'm not sure how I want to design it yet. I'm thinking about using obsidian, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, check this out. Like, we got a waterfall over there. We have a waterfall there. A nice coastline. And there's some other cool things around here. Uh-oh. Nope. Alright, well, good example, I guess. Although it used the booster, because I'm not in it, it won't go. So I can, you know, collect it. That's one of the flaws with my design. I was going to do a two-way street, but I just need to get around to finishing it and also redesign a couple things, because the booster is on the same side on both ends. So it would be driving like we're in England. I'd be driving on the left because this building is already complete. I'm not gonna flop this booster over. It's much easier to do it on the other side since all of that is completely open. But this is the train station, you know, or at least the arrival. I don't really think this is gonna go anywhere else. I could make it, I guess. I would just have to get a little fancy. I'd have to use redstone and switches and stuff in order to switch tracks and whatnot. But for the time being, this serves its purpose. I got some extra junk in there. And we come out here and check it out. This is my little settlement. This is my house. This is my farm. Lots of livestock around here. This area is really coming together. We have this over here, actually, which we'll get to in a minute. But let me just pop in here quick. You know, I like it. Drop off a couple things quick. Been busy, as you can tell. I have stumbled across quite a bit of riches, which is pretty sweet. And it's been going well. And then this is all just, you know, check out all the mossy cobblestone that I got. Isn't that incredible? I don't know how many dungeons I've found. It's probably been about a dozen or so. Oh, okay, we got bricks cooking. I don't think anything's in here. Nope. You know, modest home. There's nothing that I don't need in here, right? Like, a lot of people like to do a decorative bed, even though beds don't exist. They like to take wool and, you know, some other material and make a mock bed out of it, but I don't really see the point. this just holds everything that I realistically need. You know, with some, you know, pizzazz and decorativeness. These switches don't do anything. These buttons don't do anything. You know, they're just a way to add a bit of, you know, texture to it. In fact, I thought about adding buttons to this. Just wrapping around it. Matter of fact, do I have smooth stone? I'll do that right now. Here we go. I don't know how many I need. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, it's just... It's unnecessary, but... Yeah, like, that just adds a little bit more flair and color to it. You know, even though it's gray, it just adds a little bit of texture, which I can appreciate. You kind of got to get creative like that in these versions. Like, the buttons up here, they do nothing. But they're just there, just because. And I was going to put buttons here as well, but I can't put one here if I have one there. So I thought, why not? I'll throw a painting up there. Might as well. Let's check out the rest of the area here. I want to show this off too. So remember how I said that there was a skeleton spawner back around the spawn point, which was beautiful luck. You know, that's probably the most valuable spawner that you can find in these versions, just because you get arrows out of it. You can have an unlimited arrow supply. But I saw this cave, and this was the first thing that I explored whenever I found this area. So it was open like this. You know, it goes off in a couple of different directions. That leads, I think that leads to a larger cave, actually. But if I come down here, you know, I can still hear the animals. We're right by the surface. Look at this. A dungeon right below the surface, and this is a skeleton spawner. Can you believe it? Such luck. It's perfect. That is definitely going to be turning into a farm at some point. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. It's crazy. So lucky. So now, yeah, that's even more reason to make this the permanent settlement. And I even took some of the mossy stone to, you know, make this decorative entrance to it, just to let you know what you're going towards. Even this was probably close to a stack of mossy stone. I think it's a little much. I think I could probably put some smooth stone in there somewhere, but for the time being, I'll keep it like it is. I kind of like the rough, cobbled texture. Like I said, I kind of want to wrap this little thing up. As a matter of fact, let's go check it out really quick before we hop down into the caves. So this is mainly the beacon, I guess. Put it on the hilltop just so it would stick a little bit higher in the sky. Mainly to act as a way back home. So, you know, I'm not sure what to do with all these different levels. You know, there's not really much I can do. They just have a crafting table in each of them. But the top portion here is a pretty decent lookout tower that I can see in, you know, different directions. There's a cave over in that direction that I explored. There's a cave there. That pillar is something else. And this is supposed to be a bell tower. You know, we don't have bells, but, you know, gold block. Gold doesn't really have much of a use, so it's a decorative piece. You just have to use your imagination a little bit. But I do want to finish that flag, and I would like to use obsidian with it, like I said, but obsidian is kind of risky in this version since it just takes so darn long to dig up. So I am going to go collect some, and we will catch up for a little bit. Ooh, scary noise. I swear, man. I have checked under this house. There is no cave. I swear. Like, there isn't a cave. I've been trying to figure out where that noise is coming from, because I hear it every now and then whenever I'm, like, walking down the steps, and it, you know, gives me that chill. Let's stick all this away. I'm not going to take iron picks. In fact, I'm going to make a diamond pick quick, since this one is so low on durability. I don't want to go all the way down to obsidian level and have it break on me. I just want to be super sure of my design with the obsidian before I get up there, you know, and like do a border or something with the obsidian and then decide, you know what, that sucks. I don't like it. This should be plenty. Now I just have to decide where I want to go to get down to lava. I don't really have a spot in mind. I don't think this one goes that deep, but I do remember a cave right over here that I'm pretty sure will be pretty easy to get me down to lava. Here, right here. Oh dear. Alright, I got more than enough stuff to go and make this happen, so let's see what we can do here. Can also use this as an opportunity to do some catching up, because it's just been, I don't know how long it's been since my last video went up, but just busy times. What are you gonna do? Mainly the things I've been up to are random, you know, other creative things, but also, you know, full-time job, which takes up a lot of time sometimes, and just different activities that I am interested in aside from this. I don't even know where I'm going right now. Oh, I guess this is it. The primary thing that I've been working on is some music with some people. I've been playing the drums for, I mean, a very, very long time, actually. So I'm 25, and the first time I held a drumstick in my hand, I was 6. So, you do the math. It's been a while that I've been involved with it, and I'm not a completely out-of-this-world insane drummer. In the early days, it was mainly just random percussion, you know? It wasn't necessarily just drum set. In fact, I didn't get into drum set until very, very late in my teenage years. Like, actually taking it seriously. I mean, I had been behind a drum set before, you know, before I was even 10 years old, but did I have any clue what I was doing or any real interest? I mean, not really. It was just mainly like, you know, school band stuff, but also I was in a drum line at 6 years old also, you know, doing the tenors and the bass and snare and all that, but they're all separate instruments. I've known some people now for a little while that have been into music themselves, you know, who are a bit older than me, so they have had a lot more time in order to, see, look at that, pickaxe already gone, in order to you know, put music together and actually form bands and stuff, and that was something that I thought would be cool to experiment with and just try. Just for fun. Like, you know, I don't make any money off of it. I don't expect to make any money off of it. I've only played a few shows in front of a crowd and stuff, but it's amazing how time-consuming that stuff is. I mean, the writing process alone for songs, some people, I guess it could just like fall out of the sky, but man, this is crazy. I guess we're going caving today. But when you think about writing a song, what does that even involve? What does that entail? And how do you make sure that you don't create something that's already been done? Because it's easy to think like that. Man, I'm going to find another dungeon down here. It's easy to think that every idea has already been done. You know, popular pop songs or rock and roll, whatever. How can anybody make it in the music industry today? And, you know, that's where you have to go at it for the right reason. Oh, shit. Alright, we got... Alright. Hey, I gotta focus for a second. Oh my god! Ugh. That's freaking alpha caves, man. They are unforgiving. You guys are annoying. Dude, look at this cesspool. Ugh. Shoot a creeper or something. Oh, give me a break. Hang on, I gotta take care of these guys first. I'm gonna run out of arrows at some point here. This is crazy. Get some distance. Where'd they go? Oh my god, look at that. It's good, now they're all going to fight each other. Okay. So yeah, music. I've just been involved with, a little band recently, or over the past, actually it's been like 2 years now that we've been, jamming with each other and trying to write some stuff. Is this me? That was me. I remember this now. I almost died down here. And you can probably see why. But we've been writing a bunch of songs together, and I've been writing some stuff on the side with another guy. And it's just been eating up a lot of time, and that's kind of where my main focus is right now, aside, as a hobby, I guess, because while I would like to do more stuff like this, basically, if I didn't have all of that going on, I'd be doing more, YouTube type stuff in my free time. But ultimately, that just has my focus right now, because since it involves other people, it's a lot harder to schedule it. What the heck? It's a lot harder to schedule it and make it happen sometimes. So whenever we all find an opportunity to get together, if I could spend my free time getting together with them, that, in my opinion, is a better use of my time. Mainly because there's a high possibility, or at least I'm looking into moving away from where I'm currently living. At some point, obviously. It's not like everything's going to last forever, but I don't know when that's going to be. So I kind of want to make the most out of all of the time that I have with these guys. Just to get everything done that we want to get done. Just so that I can move and leave with no regrets and not feel like I didn't finish something. I would hate to do that. And plus, the way I see it right now too is where I live is not a place where I want to spend the majority of my life. I moved here. I'm not going to name the place, but it's a major city. I'm more on the East Coast side of the United States. I moved here pretty much for a work opportunity. I knew some people here. They helped me, get established out here and get started in my adult life. So I don't regret it by any means. Just for that alone, I'm financially very well off for myself, and I've made really good connections with people, and I'm good at what I do also, which is, kind of like, it's just like a perfect scenario for me right now. So why mess up a good thing, when you have it? It's that kind of situation. But I'm not a city guy. I grew up in more traditional suburbs, which, you can shit on them if you want, I guess, but, I grew up like that. I like a more open kind of area. I don't like the city. I don't go out to the city. I just don't. That's not what I do. That's not fun to me. I like to go out and find different hiking spots and just, be outside and be kind of with nature. Not completely fully. It's not like I'm some, hermit that just wants to go lock himself in a cabin in the woods. That actually sounds kind of miserable because there's no people out there, people can suck. I get it, but, people are also pretty cool if you find the right ones. Let's start getting some obsidian now. So I've been eyeing up some places, and it would require a pretty significant move. And to the point where trying to keep anything going, with this group of people, music-wise, would just be kind of, not impossible, but it would be a real pain. Playing shows would be completely out of the question. And personally, I'm not a humongous fan of even playing live shows. That's not why I do it. If it were up to me, I would just be a studio rat. But it's also one of those situations, well, when am I going to get a chance to do this again? It's all about that, not wanting to have regrets down the road of, I should have just done it because, I had the opportunity to. That's what it's all about, not having regrets, pretty much. That's why I'm not really in a rush, I guess, to, number one, get all the music stuff done, because we've been really busy with writing and stuff. I have written myself about 14 or 15 songs, at least done a lot of the writing with, some of my own personal stuff that I've been doing with just one other person. And then we have the band where we have been accumulating, I think they're up to 16 or 17 different songs. I didn't really have a ton of writing credit in any of those, which is honestly fine with me. I have a more personal album that I'm working on that I don't really need to be super involved in the writing process, at least as far as the message goes for the group album. I'm just, I'll let them handle it, whatever. It's not that big a deal to me. Matter of fact, it makes it better if they're going to do it, because then I don't have to worry about it, because writing is hard sometimes, stuff like that. I mean, you can there's unlimited possibilities, and I have found that sometimes can be detrimental, because it's like being able to go in any direction, right? You have all options on the table. It's so hard to make a decision on what to choose. And you end up just standing still sometimes. At least I've found in my experience, whether it comes to, deciding what you want to go and pursue for a living, go and study in school and stuff. Mainly those kind of things where, there's nobody exactly telling you what you have to do. There are some, objectively good options to go for. But, at the end of the day, it is, at least in America, it's your decision to go and do what you want. And I find that sometimes that makes it really, really hard to get started. With music, I mean, you can go about it in a ton of different ways, especially if it's, a more traditional song that has lyrics and tons of different instruments and stuff. So I play drums. I don't know how to play any other instruments. I tried to learn guitar at one point. I think I could learn bass, but I'd rather hone my craft as a drummer. I don't think I'm a bad drummer by any means, but I don't think I'm like, I'm not anything extravagant. Oh, look at that. No way. I'm definitely not like a world-class drummer. And I don't necessarily even want to become that. That sounds like a lot of work. And I'm not so into music that I even want to, like go on tour and stuff. It's mainly just, it's a good way to express emotions and ideas and tell a story in a unique way. And it's fun to come up with different lyrical melodies and drum beats that can, fit a certain tone or emotion. And you're seeing all of the pieces come together and bouncing ideas off of each other as far as, the song structure goes, instead of just doing, a traditional like intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or double chorus to end it. The thing that I've had kind of the most fun figuring out is altering the structures of a song, So in one that I can think of off the top of my head, look at this too. Oh man, I'm lucking out today. In one song in particular that I can think of that I wrote, it's not that traditional pattern. There's a bit of an intro, and then, you have a verse, chorus, verse, chorus, and then it drops into a bridge. And then we come back to a third verse, and then we do one more chorus, and then we tie it up at the end. There's also another one that goes, you got your little intro instrumental, and then you have a verse, chorus, and then it goes into what I like to call bridge one, because it just kind of, completely changes the feel of the song. Ah, man, I lost that one. Then it goes into, darn it, lost that one too. It goes, I lost my train of thought now. It goes, what did I say? It goes instrumental intro, and then we have a verse, chorus, and then it drops into what I like to call bridge one, because the style and the feel of the song kind of completely change. And then we go into pretty much like a solo piece, like a guitar solo, and then it comes into what I call bridge two, because again, it's different. It kind of acts as a chorus, but it's not the same structure or even feeling as the legitimate chorus. And then we drop into bridge one last time to end it. Stuff like that. And also figuring out the order on the album so that it tells a story in a certain sequence. That's really cool. And making it so that it makes the most sense if you listen to it in order. Little nuance type of things that not everybody's going to think about unless they were the ones that put it together. But you can tell it's like that for a reason. That's the kind of cool stuff that I can appreciate. And I'm also kind of a lyric snob too. It's just a interesting outlet of expression. And a lot of music, I'll agree, these days kind of sounds the same. I mean, a lot of the pop stuff, at least to me, sounds very, very similar. And like I've heard it 100 times before. My particular genre of choice at least for writing purposes, would have to be kind of like a pop punk, or a slightly harder punk, like skater punk is kind of what I call it, where it's kind of fast sometimes, and but also very, very sometimes nitty gritty with the lyric choice, and it's just a fun genre to play, and you can kind of do whatever you want as far as the lyrics go. Make it fast and kind of not necessarily scream into the microphone, but it's just got that energy behind it. I like that. It's kind of like my number one genre of choice. Everyone's got their own individual taste, and that's also why I can appreciate music so much. What's going on over here? Everybody's got their own personal tastes and a story that they can tell through that, which I think is really, really unique. So that's what's been taking the majority of my time. Yeah, just because I want it to be good. It's a personal project. We have absolutely no funding backing us by any means, and it's just something that I would just want to do because I have the opportunity to do it. And I have the people, I have the resources, the equipment, all that kind of stuff. So why not? But I really want to find where this water is. Alright, it's getting quiet. No? Really? Sounds like I'm right next to it. It is right in my ear. Here we go. I think that's enough obsidian. I might get a couple more pieces, but it'd be cool to find some more diamonds. Ah, look at that. Ask and you shall receive. With all that being said, trying to find, scoping out at least, a new place to live. This cave just never ends. And working on the music stuff. I still want to be involved with this, YouTube thing, because it's a interesting way to connect with people. And I think I said it already, but there's been a big resurgence in this sort of sit down and just chat kind of style. It's really making a comeback. Enough of the breakneck editing style, and just going back to more simple stuff. That's right, go in the fire. Which I can appreciate, and these are just so much easier to throw together. There's no real thought process behind it. As long as you have a topic that you want to talk about, just go. Ooh, scary noise. And more noise, or more mobs over here. Hold on, let me get all this stuff. Get a little bit of this. Alright, there's like crazy town going on over here. But you know what, before I get lost, let me go get those diamonds quick. Oh wait, what the heck? There was a creeper over here. Oh, he must have fallen in. Oh man, that's a lot. Alright, well worth it. Every time I come down here, I try to get at least one pickaxe worth, just so I basically break even. Because I'm been a huge user of diamond picks recently. Alright, let's go find out where those mobs are. No way! Dude, I swear, heart attack every time. Freaky. I don't even have a lot of food left. Maybe I'll get lucky and find some mushrooms. Oh man, they're so close to me. Ah! I'll try to go below it. Where are you at? Alright, well this is safe back here. Ooh boy. Hear lots of walking around. I've already been over there. Oh, hello. You are right next to me. Yep. Be cautious, cautious. See, this is what happens now. I find a crazy cave. I've explored like every inch of this cave, I thought, but no, it just keeps going on and on and on. I gotta be careful though, because I have died. Not super deep in here, thank goodness, but a couple times in a cave this far out, and you know, having to come all the way back, that's pretty nerve-wracking. All right, I am gonna get out of here because there's basically no. I don't want to get too sidetracked. I want to figure out this flag. Of course. And also, I'm like getting smoked. That's enough. I do want to get as high as possible in here, though, just to make it easier to get out. Be really cool if I found a natural exit, but I don't see that happening. Let me get this, though. Something else I've gotten back into recently is, oh dear God, is running. Wait, holy shit. Yeah, I don't want to fall down there. Oh, God, nope, we're not getting sidetracked. Running was something that I did, I mean, all the time as like a teenager. That was kind of like my sport of choice, you know. I was a cross-country, track and field kind of guy. And I kind of retired it for a little while back in, I'd say 2020 is probably the last time I took it actually seriously. Oh, look at that. At the very, very beginning of 2020, I signed up to do a marathon. Matter of fact, it's actually in the same city that I live in right now. That obviously got canceled. I signed up for it in January, and I was going to start training for it. I was a little chubbier, I think, than I wanted to be to begin training for it. So I took like, you know, 5 or 6 weeks and was just mainly trying to slim down a little bit before I really started hitting the training hard. And then I got started training for it, and then of course COVID hit and just kind of threw all of that out the window. But by the time that happened, I was maybe 6 or 7 weeks into serious training. So I thought, well, I'm already this far into it, why stop now? You know, I had like I think 20 total weeks to do it. At least that was the training plan that I had figured out for myself. 20 weeks of preparation in order to go and do it. And then I did end up doing it, but it was completely by myself. I had nobody else. There was no event. It was just woke up at like, I don't know, 5 o'clock one day, had a little bit of breakfast, and then I threw on my shoes and I got rolling. And I mainly want to do another one because I kind of messed up, and I might need to turn this down a little bit. For me, it's loud. I kind of messed up and didn't have enough water ready for myself, or you know, I didn't have any food during the run at all. I literally went in. I had some water set up for me. Like I just pretty much ran all around my the neighborhood where I grew up, more or less. You know, going into town and stuff, and back and all around and stuff. From all the training, I had certain routes in mind that I could use to accomplish the 26.2 miles. And I mean, I did finish it, but around 21, I think, mile 21, I hit the wall, which is definitely real, and it sucks when you hit it. I ran out of energy. I just was so tired, so beat. I got to a point where I stopped sweating, which is really bad news. You don't want that to happen. And didn't have my cell phone on me. I had nobody to contact. I had no choice but to get back home so that I could get water. And then I did eventually hit my second wind and come through, and I did finish it. But it didn't go as well as I wanted it to. And so I've kind of been wanting to redeem myself a little bit
And so there is one happening in November that I'm planning on doing, which is good timing, I guess, because I've kind of been out of practice, we'll say, for quite a while. I occasionally just going for like a jog or something, 3-4 miles maybe, and gotten decent shape last year to the point where I was doing, some sixes and stuff, but nothing close to what I used to be able to do. I've mainly been in the weight room more than anything. So, I'm heavier than I've ever been, but I'm also, bigger and stronger than I've ever been. And so it's, I'm not super worried about the weight this time around necessarily. I think it's just going to gradually happen as I'll even myself out eventually as I just continue to run and up the mileage. But for now, I'm just trying to get some miles under my belt before I really start the true training process to get ready for this thing, which will take a lot of time in and of itself. I think we're mostly safe. I want to figure out how I want to use this obsidian for the flag. I have no design in mind whatsoever. There's not like a symbol or something that I want to make, but I was thinking I'm going to use cobblestone as the obsidian. So I'm thinking it's at least got to be like 4 tall, if not, probably 5 actually. It's got to be 5. We'll do 5. We will do 5. I might not have enough obsidian to do this. Depends on how I go about it. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, I definitely don't have enough. All right. Why don't we use... let me get iron quick. I'm just gonna kind of grab anything and just go for it. Is there a red block that I can use? Not really, aside from brick. But that's not very good. I might use snow. Snow would honestly be better than... Well, iron... God, I don't know. Iron might be good for like a bottom or something. I want to get kind of like wicked with this flag design. I don't want to just make it like a solid color. That's kind of lame. I might need wool. I like the idea of using different shades of the same color. So white is kind of the be-all, end-all. Because if we look at these, let's do it right here. Let me back it up a little bit. Like they're similar, but they do have very, very different shades. That's more of a gray. This is kind of a... What is even this? This is like a... This has like a hint of blue almost in it. Where this is more of like a gray, white. But, just different textures and stuff. I like the idea of using iron as a bottom piece because it has kind of that gray gradient underneath it. I wish I had more of an area to do this that wasn't covered in snow, but whatever. We'll mock it up out here. So I figure... Oh man, I don't know how crazy this is gonna look. I forget how tall that pole is. I might need to do an odd number. See, that just looks too big. I need to climb up there and just like throw the outline up and just see what it looks like. Darn it, I just ruined that stair. God, why? There's weird bugs, man. Weird bugs everywhere in this version. Boom. Alright. Let's try again. I'm thinking... Can I put something here? Excellent. So I'm thinking... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then like 7 across. Kind of like that. It's kind of a lot. I'd like... Oh, man. Oh, man, that's going to get crazy, though, if I try to put like a ripple in it. I don't think this is big enough for that. Well, no, it definitely is, but that would be cooler. Let me just do it like this for the time being, and we will see what happens.
I just want the outline so I can understand how big this is going to look from the ground. And then I can play with like a ripple effect. I'm going to do it all on the ground first. Kind of having second thoughts about using obsidian now. This might need a ripple. That looks really stupid. Might need to be even bigger. I'm going to try a ripple effect of some kind. That's pretty okay, though, because I think that means that I can simplify the design a little bit. My only problem is how do I do a ripple effect that doesn't look like terrible? 5, 6, 7? That's not bad. That's pretty good, actually. That might be it. Alright. Let's see here. What do we want? What do we want? Oh, man. Obsidian, you're killing me, man. I don't want to place it all. This is going to be mock obsidian. I still just don't think that's big enough. Like, this might not... whatever. It doesn't have to be... It's not that big a deal. I'm way over... Go figure. I'm overthinking this. Okay. I don't like it. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. It is possible to do it like that. What if I... This is causing my brain to explode right now. I like the idea of using snow. Well, kind of like this. But I need some sort of like design or something in the middle. Don't I? Right? I mean, it's terrible. It sucks. It sucks. It wouldn't even look good as obsidian. This is out of control. How about maybe this is obsidian, the base. Obsidian base. Oh Lord, I hate it already. How does this look like stacked? That looks awful. No. Ugh, I need to think about this. I need to dig back in the box and just see what all I have lying around. Maybe implement gold a little bit. I can also just make it whatever I want. I don't know why I'm making this such a big deal. It can look stupid. It's fine. Isn't that kind of the point? There's nothing in here that kind of screams out, use me. You can't even dye the wool any color. It is what it is. What am I doing? I don't know. I should just get up there and wing it, I think. There should be like a skeleton up here. And then we will go back on this one. Oops, that's wrong. It's gonna be big enough, I think. Now what? I could have put paintings up here. Wait a minute, I did this wrong. Yeah, I went the wrong direction. There we go. It's supposed to be flowing in the wind, billowing, if you will. I just don't... if I'd colored wool, this would be so easy. I just don't even know what I'm, like, aiming for here. My skin is a creeper, but there's, like, no creeper color. Well, actually... Mossy cobblestone is about as close as I get. Aside from leaves, which I don't see myself getting leaves up here. 7 blocks across, enough to make a creeper face. It might be, actually. Cobblestone will be our obsidian again. I just want to try something. Because if I do it like this... That's only 3. And then boom, boom. 1, 2, 3 across, and then we have 2 on each side. Oh, yeah, let's just do that. None of this snow nonsense. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is the top. Yeah, that works. Boom. Yeah, we'll do it like that. It's been my skin for like ever. The creeper in a suit. Okay. Let's try that. I need more mossy stone though, and I'm ditching the iron. It's just gonna look a little funny because it's gonna be waving. Kinda, you know? It's gonna look a little funny. That even looks funny now. Well, I could do like, you know, 2 tall eyes, I guess. I might have to do it like this, and that's totally fine. It's kind of crazy looking, but... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5, 6, 7. What am I doing wrong here? No, this is right. Yeah. Oh. I see. I see. Shit. Look, it might not sound like a big deal, but this is harder to fix than you might think. Whatever. Gotta dig up the... Gotta get rid of this. I'll have to get that when I go down. Hopefully it's less than 5 minutes. It was supposed to be like this. And then this here. So these 3 have got to go. Nice. Okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. Looks a little weird. I don't hate it, though, honestly. I think it's fine. Yeah, sure. The eyes are freaking huge. We'll figure it out whenever I get down on the ground. I'm looking at it from a perspective that I probably will never see it from. That looks really bad. I don't think it's big enough. It doesn't look that bad, actually. It, you know, it just... I don't know. I think it needs an outline. Yeah, it kind of does need an outline. That means it's got to be a little bit bigger. It's got to be like 2 blocks wider. Well, 2 blocks in both directions. Ugh, I don't want to fix it right now. Man, that's a lot of obsidian to dig. It's like 14 up there. You know what? It is what it is right now. I will fix it, but I have got to go here very soon, and maybe we'll continue this a different time, and we will fix the flag and maybe build something else. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure. But if anybody hung out through this, thank you. I appreciate it. It's cool. And, you know, we'll see what happens here in the future. But that definitely needs to be fixed. Man, it doesn't even look like there's obsidian up there. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Every time I'm not paying attention. I don't want to, like, get rid of all the snow, though, in this area. That's what sucks. And Creeper's not happy with the flag, I guess.